Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Two-Player Co-op Friday show. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
And for the first time ever, as an official guest, Brittany, depending on when you're watching this, Parker.
Brittany Parker White.
Brittany Parker White.
Say hello to the people.
Hi, people.
Hello to the people.
This is
Hello, the people.
No, that sounds bad. This is the... I can't say this is the famous Brittany. That sounds weird. It seems like
Infamous.
I should say the infamous. But infamous has a bad connotation.
Yeah.
Infamous is a bad connotation.
The widely talked about Brittany.
This is Brittany, who I've talked about many times.
Sure.
This is her.
If you're...
She's made a couple guest appearances on like live podcasts.
I think I was holding up the tally for you guys.
The Street Fighter episode, she was the scoreboard keeper. So you may have seen her here and there, but now she's making her official on-camera debut.
I feel incredibly
St. Pauli
underdressed.
girl herself.
I'm underdressed. Sean, why are you guys dressed so weird?
What did we just do?
We just got back. Well, depending on when you're watching this, we either got back a while ago or a real long time ago.
You got back from?
We got back from Oktoberfest. Prost.
Prost.
I have nothing in here. So that
Slancha.
people don't need
This
to know
is
that.
quarters.
Prost.
Prost.
So is that cheers in Deutsch?
German. I think it's... No, it's not health. It's... I mean, it's their cheers.
good health.
I
It's
can't
their
think of what
hooray
it-
beer.
It's their slancha.
Right.
Slancha literally means health. Prost, I don't know if it means... I don't know. It means something.
Cheers.
I would think
It's
something.
their cheers. I just don't know if it translates as cheers or like health. I don't know. No, because Gesundheit is health.
It literally translates to cheers.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
Okay. Gesundheit means health?
It's
Achoo! Health?
Or like
Well, good
to
health.
health, or like it's almost like bless you, but it's like health.
right.
But right, it's like health. It's like, oh God, don't let a demon intercept you or whatever.
Gesundheit him out of there.
Yeah, just Gesundheit that demon right out of there.
With your guess.
Schlafgut.
Schlafgut. That means shut up. That's the
That
one
means
thing I know.
sleep good.
What did we used to say? Oh, Schlafgut
Ferme
was
la
at night.
bouche,
Ferme la
and that's
bouche.
French.
That's French. We said something for shut up in German. Because Kate and Karen and Carol and everybody. I'm pretty sure somebody taught us shut up
Maybe, but
in
I don't
German.
remember it.
Schlafgut. That's right. That's
Hey, live studio audience, look up what "shut up" is in German.
shut up in German. Google Translate. Okay. We
Haltet
didn't,
the Mund.
No,
we
that's
didn't learn
not.
that one.
Der Reihen haltet der Klappe.
Okay.
I don't think that was the thing. I think you're thinking of Schlafgut, and you
I must
always
just be thinking
You
of
just
Schlafgut.
always thought Graham White was saying "shut up"
When we
she
were
said
going to
good night.
bed.
Good night.
Schlafgut.
Shut up. Go to sleep.
That
So-
would be a German grandma, right? Shut up
Probably.
and go to bed.
Shut up. Go to sleep.
So, you're two Americans. What was the name of that movie? Two Americans in
Beer Fest.
No. The one in Paris. An American Werewolf
guys
in
a girl
Paris.
in a pizza place?
You are two American non-werewolves in Germany.
In non-Paris.
Right. So,
We were not werewolves in London.
Beer Fest.
Oktoberfest.
October.
It's Beer Fest.
That's Oktoberfest.
Well,
I know, but it might as well be Beer Fest is my point.
Beer Fest was like the underground Oktoberfest.
yeah.
So
we
what
we
is
didn't find that.
Oktoberfest?
It is. I don't know. That's what we talked about. This.
Wait a minute. You're saying there really is a Beer Fest? That's
No,
like
no.
a secret.
I'm just saying from the
oh,
movie.
okay.
Probably.
I was like, holy crap!
Because
This
in the
is
movie
awesome.
they go to Oktoberfest, and then there's like
They find that
There's
back of the building.
Right, exactly.
The
back-
yodeling thing.
So we actually had this talk, and I haven't looked it up yet. I'm assuming Oktoberfest has, I mean, maybe not because it's Germany. I can't imagine it is just a, hey, everybody, let's drink beer. I assume it's got some kind of origin like St. Patrick's Day that has now just evolved into
Let's just drink beer.
let's just drink
Which is
beer.
what St. Patrick's Day is also turned into.
There's
But-
some unknown heritage we like
Right.
couldn't figure
But
out.
So I want to talk a little bit about the whole Munich trip before we get into just Oktoberfest. But Oktoberfest is just, if you fancy yourself a beer drinker, this is a bucket list thing. We are getting married in a few days. We went on this trip the week before our wedding. People called us stupid. I get it.
Crazy.
But
Nobody called you stupid.
Crazy.
people called us stupid.
Who did?
Well, not. I mean, they weren't being
Well, that's not very
mean
nice.
about it, but they were like, "You're maybe not stupid." maybe
Our
crazy.
in-studio
You're
audience.
crazy for doing this the week before your wedding.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
timing withstanding. Usually you say non-withstanding, but I want it to withstand. Timing withstanding, I 110% do not regret going on this trip.
No, absolutely not.
It's just so awesome. I mean, Oktoberfest is fantastic. We'll get to that in a second. Munich and really just kind of Europe in general, from my experiences, is like, I love America, USA, but we are so far behind the times in almost every manner possible. Like, again, I've been to other places, but I'm really just talking about Munich here. The public transportation is top notch. Easy to get anywhere you need to go.
So
super
easy to
clean.
navigate.
It's fantastic. The city in general, very clean.
Cleanest subway ever.
We saw maybe two to three homeless people on the
Yeah.
whole trip.
Two?
Munich is, I looked it up, it's about 1.36 million people.
Holy crap! Really?
Which is
Yeah.
like,
I
I think
didn't
it
know
would
it was that
be
big.
after San Diego, before San Antonio, if it was in the U.S. So
Okay.
it would be the seventh biggest city in the U.S. Like, it's a pretty big city.
I did not realize
It is
that.
super clean.
You wouldn't
super
know that
easy
many
to get
people
around.
live there. I
Right.
mean, it was packed for Oktoberfest, but
Right.
I mean, other than that, like walking
And for
around
Oktoberfest, there's
parks-
probably 2 million people there because of all the tourists.
well,
but,
easily, but
But like, it's unbelievable. Like, I never felt. Usually, if I go to like New York City or something, I'm sticking that wallet in the front pocket. I'm keeping a hand on it. Never once felt the need to do that. I didn't once see any kind of like sketchy people. Like, I never felt any kind of like danger in the least bit. Like, it's so weird. Then you just walk around. We were there. We technically got there on Sunday, but we were a waste of space on Sunday because we were trying to acclimate to the time. We were basically there Monday through Friday, so it was all weekdays. It did not seem like a weekday. There were people out, and German-speaking people, not just stupid American tourists like us. There were German-speaking people out at all times.
And
out
kids.
and about drinking beer. Yeah, the
Well, the
beer.
kids weren't drinking.
The
I mean, the
beer
drinking age is 16,
age is
but-
16. There.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause beer
and I
is
think
water.
you can basically just drink beer like we'd be walking down the street and there'd be like some kid walking by who looks like he's 14 just drinking out of a beer bottle. It's just
Well,
weird, but they
and
don't make a
it's-
big deal out of it.
no, it's higher
So
for liquor.
They have it's 18 for liquor. It's still not that high,
Wow.
but it's just this weird culture there where they don't make a big deal out of it. And so I bet they have very little alcoholism there. Like, it's just a totally
Or
different
DUIs,
culture.
probably.
Right. Well, also not a lot of people drive there. Everybody's
No, it's
walking and taking
public
riding
transport
bikes.
is
Um,
easy.
Now, this is a dumb joke. I just realized. Do they have Uber there?
They do.
Because it's named Uber.
We tried and we couldn't get one. They said Uber's not available here. But that was by
No, but we were-
Neuschwanstein Castle.
well, we were
not
by
Munich.
Neuschwanstein and then also by our hotel, which was several miles outside.
Did we try
of
getting an Uber there?
Yeah, outside of the city.
Was that your night?
Well, no.
We'll get to that in
We'll
a
get to
second. But no, just in general, like the whole, there's the culture and then there's also just the atmosphere. Now, the day trip we did to Salzburg, this is a Thursday afternoon. We're walking around. There's like beer gardens. And there's just like this bar. I don't know if it was called Relax or if they just had a sign up that said
No,
Relax.
it was called Relax.
I think it was called Relax. You
Yeah.
can just show up. There's
There's
all this
couches
patio
outside.
furniture out. You can just sit down, have a bit. It's right on the water. I don't know what river goes through Salzburg, but just
Yeah.
the whole culture is unbelievable. Like, I could never live anywhere outside of the U.S. I
Right.
couldn't do it, but at the same time, I could see living in this area. It is just so awesome.
And like more people spoke English than
That's what I
we
wanted.
thought.
Basically, everybody speaks English.
Everyone speaks English because you're so close to like the rest of the European Union and the UK, and just there's so much intertravel between all of those countries. I mean, when we went to Salzburg, we didn't even get our passport stamped because it's like going
Well, because
from
I think
state
that's
to
how the
state.
EU is.
It is.
I think it turned
Yeah,
all the
because it's
countries
the-
basically into states.
It is because it's
And
the
you can
European
just-
Union,
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
and
But going from
right.
the UK to anywhere in the EU, because the whole Brexit thing.
But where the
became
hell
a
are
little
they
bit more
with that?
complicated.
But they're still
I think
part
it's
of the
still.
EU.
I don't
right?
think it's
For
happening
now?
yet.
it hasn't
Yeah.
happened yet. Well, I mean, we got our passports stamped when we got to the UK.
Okay.
When we got to
yeah.
Heathrow.
Yeah.
But we didn't when we went to Salzburg in Austria. So I'm not sure where that split is. But anyway, like everyone in Munich, they'll speak German to you because I mean everyone looks like
We'll go into
Germans,
like
right?
a
They don't
restaurant
even
or
know.
something, and they'll come up and
And you're like,
I just look at them like,
Schnitzel.
and then they're like, "Can I help you?" And I'm
Zwei
like,
Bier.
yes, you can help.
And
me.
then they speak perfect English, like with an it's not even like a German accent really. It was almost like a British accent. Like the waiter that we had at that one restaurant, the first restaurant
one,
we went
yeah.
to, and he spoke perfect, like beautiful English. So,
But yeah, it's almost every brewery there. It's very different from here because for the most part they have like one beer. They probably brew more than one beer, but at Oktoberfest you're at like the Hofbrau tent or the Lowenbrau tent or the Augustiner tent or whatever,
Paulaner.
and you just say, "Hey, 2 beers, zwei beers."
Zwei Bier.
And it's like, okay, here you go. It's not, I'll have a
Double IPA.
Right. They don't have, it's not like our breweries where they have like 15 different.
because it's Oktoberfest, or that's
No,
just they
in
all just
general.
serve
No.
German
It's
German
just-
beer.
it's-
Well,
just
I mean,
beer.
there's variations, right? There was the
Like
Helles,
Hofbrau
there was a
has
Helles
a few,
and
yeah,
a
they all
Weiss
have,
beer.
but
and
at the tents at Oktoberfest they have one.
Oh, okay.
But even if you were
Gotcha.
to go to that brewery, they
Yeah.
probably only have like 3.
2 or 3.
Like it's not, it's totally different from here.
Well, because Germany, it's beer is such a huge part of their culture. Like I said, it's pretty much like water. I mean, when we were in Salzburg, we went to a beer garden, and there was this group of older
Oh, so
gentlemen
cool.
that had like their own specific like steins that like it was almost like they were in a club, and they were sitting there. They brought their own lunch, and they were sitting at the table, and these guys were just drinking beer like it was water or soda. They were just bringing it back.
Wait, I just love that Sean said they probably don't have alcoholism there, but then all everybody ever does is drink beer there.
Yeah,
Well,
but
but I
their
think they-
limits are so high.
I think they drink it respectfully. I don't think they.
They
it's
don't-
not
they
like,
don't
like,
get
oh,
to
come
get
on, come
drunk.
on, come on. Oh, come on. I'm almost 21. Okay, now I'm going to go crazy. It's like you've been
Well,
drinking
right.
since
That's
you're
why I've always
16.
said
You have a couple
the age
beers.
here should be 18.
It should, yeah.
But it's not like alcoholism in the States where it's like you're drinking 7 or 8 drinks a night and getting drunk and wasted off your butt,
Well.
I mean, maybe during Oktoberfest it's bigger, but I
Yeah.
feel like these guys are just like, yeah, we're just going to go out 3 o'clock in the afternoon, have lunch, and have a beer.
But there are so many things that it's like the euros. I mean, Starbucks is the only place that I saw anything that had a price that
Has
ended in
$1.
not a 0 or a 5.
No, it ended in 9.
And
right?
all their tax is pretty
49
much
or
included.
59.
Like when you go to a restaurant,
Okay.
something's like $13.75.
That's actually what it costs.
That's it.
Well, that's good.
That's already got the tax included. So like we didn't see a penny, a cent,
Until
a
Starbucks.
euro cent until like our last day when we went to Starbucks.
And it's like
everything's
that-
like 0s and 5s. It's just much simpler
like the
that
metric
way.
system. It's easy. Yeah.
It's just there are
It's
so
easy.
many things. And then
Round.
you go to these beer gardens. It's like here in Memphis, it's pretty nice year round.
Okay.
You could have these beer gardens here, and it's like if I had more
So
money.
but what for the viewers and for me? What the hell is a beer garden?
It's basically just an outdoor. It's a place where you can just go and drink
It's a
beer.
bunch
Is it like
of-
rail
outside.
garden?
Yes.
Kind
Without
of
the
without the
games.
games.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
picnic tables
it's
set
beer
up.
garden. It's rail garden
chairs.
where you just sit and drink beer.
You go to the main bar, and then there's
And
different
food.
like
There's food.
there's food vendors like all throughout, and so they're selling like ribs or brisket or pretzels or schnitzel or I mean, you took pictures and you're just like, we just ate, but this is so much meat.
Oh, I was not full. I mean, I was not hungry at all. But you go. We
Right.
went to this beer
was
garden
huge
in
slabs of
Austria, and
meat.
it was just like thick cut bacon. Pork knuckles is a thing there. I'm still not sure. I don't know if it's literally a knuckle, but like
is. It was a pig's
everybody's
foot.
eating them. It's just they live off of meat.
Bread.
Like she's doing a quasi no carb, really just
I
low
was.
carb
It's good,
diet.
well, except for the beer.
I was.
In Germany, everything is either meat or carbs. I mean, I guess that's kind of true here too. But like, you're either eating bread and
I mean,
pretzels.
they had a little bit of
Or
lettuce
it's
on
just
the sandwiches,
meat.
but that was about it. No
Or it's just
veggies, no
meat.
fruit.
That's what
really.
I'm talking about.
It-
Well, that's like I think about.
I don't know that you will ever. I want to go back.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm not ready to go back anytime soon. And then by the time anytime soon has passed, we're going to have kids. Like, I don't see us going back for a while, but I need to go back. I'm telling you, you would love it. Oktoberfest itself is a little much to take in.
But the
just
2 days that we
general,
did was perfect. You know,
Yeah.
like these people, there's people that spend the entire week drunk off their ass, like at Oktoberfest the entire time, don't remember any of it. Like we spent 2 days and I think it was the perfect amount.
Yeah. So that brings us to Oktoberfest.
With a K, correct?
With
Yes.
a K. So Oktoberfest, it's really just it's like a big fair. They have like booths with like food and like carnival games and rides.
I didn't realize
and
they
everything.
had rides. Yeah.
Oh.
But it's free to get in.
Roller coasters
You
and
just
Ferris wheel
walk
and-
in.
Yeah.
What? How?
Roller coaster, Ferris wheel, like the whole carnival game thing
It's
where
like
like
it's a
you hit
big-
the thing
yeah.
with the hammer and then, which I tried and failed
So
miserably.
wait,
at.
how do they have? Do the roller coasters say they're all year, or is this they just said? Is
No,
this
I
like
think
a,
they
a
said it- it's
fairground
like a
all
I think
year?
it's traveling. Yeah, I think it's like they
Yeah, but
take
how
it
do you-
down.
Wow.
They start building the tents for Oktoberfest in June.
Wow.
Which
To get
I
them
didn't know. He
to
told
get
me
them
that.
ready by September. And I
I
mean
thought
they're
they stayed
they're
up all
tents,
year.
but they're like wood and
Buildings.
steel. Like
Yeah.
they're buildings.
Well,
yeah.
because on Google Maps, when you look at the area of where Oktoberfest occurs
Mm-hmm.
in Munich, you can see like on the actual map, there's a I'm gonna butcher this name, Theresienwiese. Theresienwiese, something like that. But you see on the maps, it's like a solid oval, and there's like permanent building structures there on Google Maps.
Okay.
But it's like that's just their permanent place.
Right.
Yeah, I think the locations are marked, but they construct it and tear it down every year. But yeah, it's free to get in. You walk in.
because
You
they
go
know
through
you're going to
security.
spend.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh well, that's good.
So
Yeah.
basically every brewery has their own tent. They have one beer. They have basically beer, and they have, I don't know if all of them do, but some of them have like non-alcoholic beer. And from what I've read,
Radler.
they're keeping an eye on people. And if you are noticeably drunk and you order a beer, they're just going to give you non-alcoholic beer, and you'll never know the difference.
They'll give you a St. Pauli girl.
Exactly. But okay, so Oktoberfest. So it is super. From what I've read, it is super crazy. It is super. It is crazy on weekends. Like
Oh my
it
God,
opens at. I think the fairgrounds open at 9. I think the tents open at 10, or maybe 10 and 11.
On weekends, yeah.
Weekdays, I think maybe
11.
they open at 10 and the
Yeah.
tents open at 11 or something. So we were originally going to get there at like 10 on a Monday because I want to make sure I get into this tent. And then I was reading up on it. It's like, as long as you're there by like 2 o'clock, you'll be fine on a weekday.
Because people do have to work.
So we slept in
Right.
a little bit because that was our first night. Like we're still getting used to
We
the
went to
time
bed
change.
at 5:30.
Yeah, we went out to
on
dinner
Sunday.
at like 4:30. We ate, we went back to the hotel, and then passed
that
out.
makes sense.
Except I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, well, crap.
When that's when
But
you did
at
all the
least you
research.
got. But at least you
Right,
got
I
a
got
night
most
of sleep.
of the way.
Oh yeah,
there,
no, we
yeah.
we like fully switched
Have some
ourselves
coffee and
over.
you're good.
So we
Yeah.
went to
Bavarian
to
coffee is
Hofbrau.
very good.
Hofbrau is like the big tent. I'm like, I want to go there. So we go there. It's kind of dead. We order a beer, whatever. We drink our beers, and then I think we just had the one there, right?
How much did the beers cost?
We did 11
12
euros.
euros?
No, it was 11.
So what
it was
is
like
that?
10
11 or 12 euros.
So what is that? I know pounds is almost 1 to 1.
It's about $15.
But they're
It's like
big.
1 to 1.3 or 1.4.
Okay.
But when we were at this beer garden in Austria, it was like €6 for a
Yeah.
liter.
Yeah.
Like
So like $5.
cheap.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way. It's like $7.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But
right,
still,
right.
like, there are places you can go
A
here
liter
and
cola?
pay a $5 or $6 for a pint, and you're getting basically double that for not much more.
More than
that.
double, right?
I mean, a pint, 2 pints is about a liter. So I think we had a beer at Hofbrau, and then we went to
Augustiner.
Augustiner.
Yeah, we went to Augustiner.
We met some Americans there. The guy, they're getting engaged, so we had that, or they just got engaged, so we had this whole conversation. She's UT.
Oh, the good UT.
The good UT.
The only UT.
And I think he was Texas A&M. So,
He was.
Oh, how did that
He was.
happen?
I
I
had
don't
no
know.
idea.
But they both live in, or they're both from, I don't know if they live in Houston. So we were talking about
Oh, because one was a
Harvey
petroleum
and all
engineer.
that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
really
one was an
remember that.
engineer.
So we met up with them. It was cool. We made friends and whatever.
Could you tell? This is like it's not racist, but it sounds funny.
Could you
tell
tell
they
they
were
were
American? Yeah. Did they
Not
look
really.
like tourists, or did they look like?
Well, no, we sat down.
Well, they
so
looked like
we
us.
went into the but
They
like
were wearing
Germans
the
look like us.
traditional garb.
Okay.
But Germans look like us. But
Well, that's what I was wondering. If Germans, it seemed like
No,
but
you
from the
can't
pictures
tell
you
until they
showed me.
talk.
we didn't know
Yeah,
until we
okay.
talked. Well, and we didn't know that because we asked. We go into like there's reserved areas and non-reserved areas. So basically, you can pay to reserve a table all
nice.
day,
Bottle
and
service.
you get access to it starting at 4 or 5, like at the busy time or whatever. Which we didn't do because it was really expensive, and we're not going to stay at 110
Right.
like for 6 hours. And so we went over to the non-reserved area, which is actually pretty empty and accessible in the early part of the day during the week, and then asked, hey, can we sit here? Because it was right by the band, and they were playing. Yeah.
They were like, "Oh yeah, sit down." We're like, "Americans,
Yeah.
America." But so we went here. We had I think 2 leaders there, and then so we're 3 leaders deep now. We said let's stop at 3
Wait, we had
leaders,
2
maybe
there?
even 2. Yes,
Oh, and we had that.
we had so we
that
had
meat
3
and gravy thing.
by
or
the time we
whatever.
left this place.
Yeah.
And then we're like, let's go experience the
But we
fair
hadn't
a little
eaten
bit.
much.
We hadn't eaten anything until that
Well,
meat.
that'll do
Yeah,
it.
that was bad. That was
So we went and I have so much GoPro footage. I've recorded
Good.
basically us walking
that we
around
didn't
the
remember
whole fair.
until we watched it.
That's like our episode 50.
Yeah. We went on. What was the first? We went on a bunch of rides. We went on one legit roller coaster. We went on one thing.
Wait,
that
That
was like,
wait.
stupid, scary ride that cost
That
us
was
10
horrible.
euros. That was awful.
It wasn't the flying saucer thing that sucks you up again.
no, it was literally
No,
like
no, no.
it drives you through this thing, and then it's like.
It was a little kiddie roller
Oh,
coaster.
it was-
It was
okay.
like one of those, those
so
pop-up
stupid.
haunted house things.
But then we went
Yeah.
on a legit like roller coaster, and that was pretty intense. I recorded the whole thing, but we're just like walking around talking to the camera, and we're like watching this back the next day, and
Oh,
we're just like,
God.
oh my god, like weird.
I don't remember this.
So
I don't remember
drunk.
that. Like,
And you were okay on the roller coaster though?
I
we
legit
were.
thought I might throw up
Yeah.
on the actual
I was
roller
fine.
coaster.
Was
I
there
was-
any loop-de-loops, or was it just a?
Oh, there
fast
was
one?
4.
It was meant to look like the Olympic
The
rings.
Olympics.
So
Oh,
there's
5.
There's 5, yeah. So we did that, and then I don't know if we were like.
So wait, did you have this much confidence in your GoPro gimbal?
Yeah.
Oh, it
whatever
was all
it's-
over the place.
Or were you just like?
No, I knew about it. It
It'll be
was
fine, man.
no.
You know what I
I
mean?
was
It got that
pretty
way.
sure. Yeah, it was
Okay.
fine. So I don't remember if we thought like, okay, we're done. Let's go home. Let's go check out this tent. I don't know how, but we ended up in this other tent, and now it's starting to get late. And by late, I mean like 3 o'clock. But that's around when
Late
people
when
you've been up
start
since
getting out of
forever,
work and
yeah.
the tents start to get busy, and it
okay.
was getting busy. So we found a seat, a table with a couple seats,
This
and
is
we
the Paul Honor
sat
tent.
there. This is at the Paul Honor tent,
Yep.
which our buddy Tyler said he was there like a few days before we were. He's like, "This is the tent you need to go to. The band
fun.
actually plays like music you will know, not all
sing-along
just
songs.
German drinking songs." So we saw it, and then we're like, "Let's go."
Well, that, I mean, they
And-
played Sweet Caroline, and
So
that
we
kind
were
of stuff.
3 leaders deep by the time we got there. We each had a 4th there. There was this. I'll find a picture while I'm talking about it. There are these like souvenir like chicken hats that you can buy, like a roast chicken,
Like Metal Gear Solid.
and
So
it's got like
they
animatronics in it, like the legs
Yeah.
move and stuff.
Everything goes back.
Animatronics. It's like mechanical.
Everything goes back to.
So I was
Yeah.
sitting there and we are getting drunk, and then somebody like put it on my head, and we've got, I don't know if it's on the GoPro or
You
on
got
her
GoPro
phone,
footage, yeah.
but I'm wearing this stupid chicken hat, and then I hand it off to Brittany, so you can see both the chicken hat and Brittany's state of mind at this point of the day. And
it's
like
a
very
chicken-
glassy,
okay.
like for
Yeah, not
everyone
like literally
watching.
I thought you
chicken.
meant a chicken.
No,
face.
like a
No,
roast
no, like
chicken.
upside down.
and
Like
the
I was
legs
wearing the
move.
chicken's
The
legs.
neck is
on my
over your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
But,
so,
yeah.
but they're playing fun music. I'm having the time of my life. It's so I'm like, this is October. It wasn't until we got
Right.
here that I was
You're
like,
standing on the
this-
benches,
Yeah,
you're
everybody's
up,
up on the
everyone's like,
benches. Everybody's singing
I'm
along. It's
roasted. Yeah.
unbelievable. Then around maybe 5 o'clock.
God.
Is this the
Here
story
we
that I
go.
keep hearing
Yes.
about that I haven't heard about yet?
I don't
around-
know if I'm ready to like
Around
talk about
5
this.
o'clock, Brittany says, "Okay, I need to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine.
Because I
I'll
broke
be
the
here."
seal early on, and for any women,
So she goes to the
watching, break
bathroom.
seal, and that's it.
Now, granted, I'm pretty drunk at this point.
Very.
very, very drunk.
We both were.
But all of a
4
sudden,
liters of
I'm still
beer.
getting GoPro footage. I'm singing along, whatever. But at some point, I stop and look around. I'm like,
Brittany's gone.
these are all, well, there's that, but it's also like, these aren't even
They
the
were
same
different
people that I
people.
was here with before. Like, everybody has left and new people have come in and whatever. And I'm like,
Oh God, I hope you weren't in the
Brittany's-
middle of like a German mob or
I'm
something.
like, Brittany's
No.
still not here. Like, I'm like, well, okay.
I need to drink more before I talk.
So, but she left her purse and everything. I'm like, so if I'm going to go look for her, I need to take her purse. I can't leave it.
Obviously,
so,
yes.
and I think she'd been gone for at least 30, if not 45
And she didn't have her
minutes.
phone.
My
well,
phone was in my
we'll
purse.
get to that.
Well,
So I'm like,
spoiler.
all right, I need to go. Let's go find her. So I take her purse. I head over to where the bathrooms are. I don't see her. And then I'm trying to think, okay, if I
were
was
Brittany.
her
Right.
and I got separated, where would be the obvious place to meet up? Probably the exit of the tent. So I went over there.
Logically.
I got there around 5:45-ish. I'm like, all right, she'll show up eventually. Now we're in Germany. We're in like roaming territory. We're on not Vodafone. What is it? Telecom. Basically, they're like Verizon or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to turn data on. I don't want to use roaming, whatever.
We were on airplane mode pretty
So
much. the
I'm
whole
just
time.
like hanging out there. I'm like, she'll have to come out here eventually. I'm sitting there waiting. I'm talking to random people as they come out. It's kind of like the night in Florida when I posted up in the parking lot. It's that kind of vibe. And I'm like, I don't see her. I don't see her. I'll go back in, see if maybe she's around. Nothing. I'll go back out. I'll head to the entrance, see if she's over there. Nothing. I'll come back. Meanwhile, I'm carrying a purse the whole time. I'm like, this is fantastic.
satchel.
And I just don't see her. This started at 5:45. Somewhere around, I don't know, 7:30, 8,
Jeez.
8:30. I don't
Later
know.
than that.
I finally said, all right, I need to turn my data on. Maybe she's done the same. Maybe she's trying to text me. Like,
I've
I
been
need to turn it
kidnapped.
on. Exactly. So
I'm in
like, I need to
hostel.
turn my phone on. So I text her, where the blank are you? And then
Which was
I'm like,
awesome.
whatever. I'll just wait. You know, maybe she'll respond. And then I check my phone. And it never says delivered. So I'm like, she doesn't have data on.
Right.
And then it clicked.
I have her.
I
phone.
have her phone in my purse.
So I'm never going to.
Not
see her
only do I
again.
have her phone, I have our
you,
passports.
You accepted it as your purse.
I have
Love it.
our passports. I have her phone. I have our room card.
And
like,
my license was in
everything.
the back of my phone. I have like a little like
So I'm like,
pocket thing.
Right.
So I'm like, I could head back to the hotel. Maybe she went back to the hotel, but I can't do that because what if I leave and then she finds the show? I can't leave her here with nothing. Like, I need to stay here until I find her. So I'm waiting. It's 7:30. It's 8:30. It's 9:30. The tent closes at 10:30. I'm like, I'm running out of time here. Right around 9:30, I happen to be looking at my phone and I get an email from
Spreckensiedeutsch@gmail.com.
Just about.
Let me go ahead and pull it up. I get an email from
Schlafgut.
where is it? I get an email from our hotel.
That's good.
Subject: Hello, Mr. White. Body: Good evening, Mr. White. We could not reach you on your cell phone. Your girlfriend is here in hotel. The police brought her here. She did not have any documents with her, but when she came to the hotel, she showed the printed passports to the police. Best regards, Mr. Mihaly Takacs. So luckily we had
Very
we
nice
had
guy.
copied our passports. So we have like we've got our
Photocopies.
passports and now we have like a printed out version of our passports. Luckily our printed out versions were in the hotel room.
In my backpack.
As far as I know, I think she went to the bathroom and probably passed out on the toilet or something. And that's why she was gone forever.
Via Elvis.
And then I think she woke up
I just
and
didn't
then
die.
basically didn't know where she was. I don't even know when you finally really came to. She found herself walking, climbing,
I
crawling
can
through
tell
people's
that, yeah.
backyards.
Do you want me to tell it?
Go for it.
Okay. So, all right.
I feel like
so,
the Jackie Chan meme.
There are a lot
So-
of
so
questions
you
and there
heard-
are no answers.
very much so. So Sean kind of told his perspective, and so what happened? Yeah. So what happened to me was if you backtrack to the time where Sean likely realized I was gone for a long time and decided to pick up my purse and leave the table. So I came out of the bathroom at some point. No idea what time it was. I didn't have my purse. I didn't have anything. I had my Apple Watch, but I mean, I was so far gone, I probably didn't even check the time. I tried to go back to the table where I thought we were sitting, but keep in mind at this point, it is after 5 o'clock. On a weekday, the tent is raging with music. It's packed. There's like standing room only, and people are crowded standing on top of the benches at these tables. So I'm trying to find a 6'2" dark-haired man in a sea of just people from all over the world. It was impossible.
It is unknown whether she made it back to our table and I had already
I have
left,
no idea.
or if she never made it back to our table. Meanwhile, I was still at our table.
Right.
But either way,
I have
we
no
didn't.
idea.
We,
I didn't see him, so the last thing I remember from the tent was blurry people. This tells you how far gone I was. Oh God, Mom, don't watch this.
No, Mom, you need to watch this.
No. So I couldn't see him. I didn't know where he was, and
You should have been wearing bright pink T-shirts or something.
I don't
We
know.
planned ahead the next day.
We did the next day, but I had no idea where he was. And the next thing I remember, and I'm assuming I walked out of the tent and then left Oktoberfest somewhere. But I must not have gone out the same door that he was standing out of, because there was probably 5 different exit points and entry points to the tents.
Yeah,
so I had no
that's
idea
what I was going to say.
where
There's
I
no way there
exited.
could only be one exit. Is what I was
No, there was
Right,
multiple. And the next thing I remember, God. Next thing I remember, I have fuzzy visions of me sneaking around what I think were people's backyards, thinking that I was being chased somehow by somebody
police?
or someone. I don't know. But I literally remember feeling that I was like scared for my life. And I don't know how much of that was just me not knowing where I was. And I was walking forever. I mean, I looked at my Apple Watch the next day and I had walked 14 miles that whole day. No idea how. I didn't turn on the workout mode, so I have no idea where I was.
That, by the way, that's a pet peeve I have. I don't have an Apple Watch, but that pisses me off that you have to.
It
do
should
that.
just try
It's
to
stupid.
locate it.
It is.
Sorry, segue.
I mean, I didn't have my phone with me, so I don't know that I would have been able to track GPS anyways. Cause
No,
No,
your
it has
watch has
GPS,
GPS, but if you don't turn on, if you
don't
start,
say
like,
I'm
an
working out,
exercise-
it's
Oh.
stupid.
well, Apple, that
Gotta
is
have
a
something
safety
for next
factor
year.
Well,
for
I
the
think that's a
next time
battery
this
thing.
happens.
If it was always tracking your GPS, the battery wouldn't last throughout the day.
It would have been
probably.
nice to know where I was. So I remember thinking that I was fearing for my life, right? Whatever crazy thoughts were going into my head, think you're drunk, you don't know where you are, you probably, I was probably blacked out, but still managed to walk. So I don't remember walking anywhere. And I remember, I remember jumping over property fences and I remember these, like, it was like the chain link fence, so it was kind of flexy. So it was like, oh, I can get over this. Like, no big deal. Like, I'll just run and escape. And I was running through like a forest or like it was like a park or something.
So now the police
The
make
details
sense.
are very fuzzy.
And the details are very fuzzy. And that's about all I can remember. And the next thing I remember is I get to this, what I think is a neighborhood. And I must have been on the ground or hysterical or crying or something, and this old lady stopped and came over and was trying to speak to me in German, which I don't remember, I don't understand, and I was like trying to tell her, like, I don't know where I am. At the time I thought like my friends had been stolen, like I didn't have my purse with me, so I thought my purse had been stolen, all these things that you jump to conclusions of, like, the worst possible thing that could happen. And she called the police, the German police, on the phone, and luckily they spoke English, and I was trying to like talk through them. And
But you remembered the name of the hotel, I guess?
I remember this is the weird thing. Like, I was most likely blackout drunk for several hours. Didn't even realize it. Don't know how that happened. I thought I had a higher tolerance, being Irish and everything. Guess not. And the cops showed up, and they start, general questions. What's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Who are you with? Where are you staying? And it took them forever to find the hotel that we were staying at on Google Maps, because I guess it's in a town that is a few miles outside the city.
It's like
and
still Munich, but like outer Munich.
it's outer Munich, so it's like super suburbs, right? It's like Rossville here, right? Like outside of Collierville. Like most people don't know like what's out there,
Right.
And so they finally found. They showed me on Google Maps. I remember that, and they said, "Is this the hotel?" Yes, it is. Okay, and they put me in the car and they drove me to the hotel. Super nice cops. Like, I didn't think I deserved people being that nice, which with as hysterical as I'm sure I was acting, like not knowing where I was and being so scared. Like, it's just, it's embarrassing. Like it's just like
So-
shameful that I.
So I got that email
happened.
from the hotel. I'm like, okay, well, I
That
guess I
leads
can
us up to-
safely
At least
head
she's
back to the
alive.
That
hotel.
leads us up to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm heading back. I take the train as far as I can, and then it's like a 15-minute walk from the train station back to the hotel. She pulls out her laptop, gets on Facebook Messenger, and starts texting me. So
I was
finally
sobered
we're
up by this
talking. I'm
point.
like, you're fine. Like, I'm on my way home. I'm
But I was still
walking. Like,
hysterical.
I'll be there soon, whatever.
Yeah.
I walk into the hotel carrying her purse, and the guy at the front desk sees me with this purse and says, "Oh, you must be Mr. White. Your girlfriend's here. She's safe." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been talking to her."
Ah, the
Thanks,
man with the
whatever.
purse.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, what gave it away? So she's fine. I mean, the police followed her into the room and she showed them the printed out passports and she took our names. She's freaking out for days about like, oh my God, this is some kind of like international incident. Now our names are on some list. They're not going to let
Did
us
they
back into
ask
the
to see your
country.
passports?
They asked it for me to.
She had
prove
no
who I was.
identification.
I had
on
nothing
her.
with me.
This is
So-
all she had was in the hotel room.
Oh,
They-
and she
they
didn't
needed
have
to
a
know.
key, so they wouldn't even let her in the room without. Okay,
Right. So
okay,
they let me
done.
in the room that I
Got
said
it.
was
Okay.
our. So I remember the number of our room, and the receptionist or whoever he was let us in the room, but they said, "Look, in order for you to stay here, you need to prove that this is who you are."
That makes sense. Okay, that now I get it.
But yeah, so I got back to the hotel and everything. She was still hysterical, but everything ended up fine.
Very
and we're basically like,
hysterical.
so we had a day in between. The next day we went to Neuschwanstein Castle, and then the next day we were going back to Oktoberfest. Fast forward 2 days, we're like, all right, let's take it kind of easy. Let's go back to that tent because that was fun. But
I want to remember.
let's I'm like, if you go to the bathroom, if you're gone, like if you're out of my eyesight for a half hour, we meet here. Like we set up a location. We're like, I'm not going through this again. And it never
See.
came to that. But we're like, we're going to take it easy.
I didn't drink 4 liters.
She had
I drank
3.
3.
I had 4.
So what
I
I was
had another 4 liters. And
What
I
I
was
was-
He did.
gone.
He was gone. I was fine, which I must have just built up my tolerance.
What I was gonna say is, if you already had kids, you would have already had this plan laid out. That okay, if we get separated, you go
Right.
here, you wait for us there.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we know.
we know, there's never like that.
Well, we
one-
had-
yeah.
We had no idea what to expect at the tents, right? We had no idea how busy
It's
it was
one of
gonna
those things
be.
that in America we'd never have that problem because we would have cell
Cell
phones.
phones,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I had her cell phone, but she could have found somebody. Like she could have communicated with the people. I assume even
would've
if
been,
you're
"Hey, can
drunk,
I use your
you have
cell
my
phone?"
phone number memorized. Like you
I
could
do,
have
yeah.
gotten a hold of me.
Well, I did.
This would
I
never
did because
happen
We
in
tried
America.
calling your cell phone from the hotel.
Right.
So
yeah.
I knew, like, even when we got back to the hotel, I was somewhat sober, but I was still like still recovering.
I know my cell phone number. I know Jess's. I know Mom's just because mine's 6515 and hers is 6151. So I know it because of that. And I know Dad's because Dad's is 6158.
I know mine.
I have no idea what
I know
yours is.
hers, and I know our old house phone number.
Oh yeah, 31. Whoops.
I know Tim's old house number.
Randy's.
I know Randy's. I know
6926.
Well, it's the ones you
Brent's.
call over and over. And
Right.
over
I have
again.
all these worthless phone numbers memorized, but not the ones that
I know
actually matter.
Jess's old house number 7825914.
Well, that's true.
Oh yeah,
But-
that's true.
But yeah, so
I know the address of my old house when I was like 3 years old.
so the next day, I mean not the next day that we spent at Oktoberfest, it was pretty low key. We went back to that tent because it was a lot of fun for as little as we got to experience and had a great time. We stayed there
Later,
way later. I
Like
mean, I think
8
we stayed
o'clock?
there till I don't know if it was
7,
8, maybe
7,
7.
Yeah.
But like
It got
I
crazy.
put
They
down
turned the
another
lights
4
down.
liters. She had 3 liters. Like we were still very drunk,
Those
but at
jerks
least
ate the rest of my pretzel.
she ordered a pretzel. She went to the bathroom. She came back, and people were eating her
Super
pretzel.
drunk German guys came back, and they're just grabbing food off the table.
And you
that
didn't
people
stand up
ordered.
to these big men?
I mean, he
They
was a
weren't that
little
big.
guy.
I was just like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
You gave him
I
permission.
probably gave them the present. I don't remember. But
You-
all in all, Oktoberfest is unbelievable. Like, I cannot recommend it. I'm not ready to go back next year.
Right.
No.
But it's something I would like to experience again. It is something that if you like beer, if you like drinking, if you like the social aspect of drinking and just being able to like make friends and just like cheers with people
So
and
many
drink, like
friends.
it is so much fun. Like
It's just easy to meet people and say hi and where
even
are you
as
from?
bad as the timing was with our wedding and stuff, I still 110%.
Well, I mean,
No, it
it's
was
not
the
like it's not like you were poor planners or anything. I mean, you've got
Exactly.
most stuff wrapped up, and
we made sure that we got the stuff that would have needed to have been done that
Right.
week. We made sure we got it done a week
Right.
earlier. So yeah, so I mean,
He's
we
just-
were prepared, but
You're just lucky you
It
still
was
have
just-
a wife or
Well,
future wife,
yeah.
you know.
but it was
That could have gone really bad.
it was so much fun. Like I had a blast. It's definitely a bucket list thing.
Sorry,
it is
Mom.
a memory of a lifetime kind of thing. I absolutely want to go back. And it probably won't be for many years, but
but
I
that's,
would
There were so
absolutely
many-
go back.
There were so many like 70-year-old or 60-year-old
Oh,
guys,
people-
70-year-old
yeah,
men
like,
and
you don't
women
have to
that
be
were
there,
Oktoberfest knows
and
no age.
They were, and there was these one we figured they were American because their T-shirts were in English, but they could have been from Britain or wherever. But
Yeah.
they were there for somebody's 80th birthday. They
Yeah.
said it's Bob's 80th birthday or whatever, or the T-shirts that they all had.
yeah, the
and it
T-shirts
was
like the family reunions here.
yeah, and it was awesome. And we looked, and I think that was the first day we
That
were
was
at the
during our
Hofbrau
first
house.
beer. I'm like, I'm not
That's
drunk enough yet, but
awesome.
I'm like, I kind of want to go over there and,
And
just
say
like
happy birthday.
give them
Prost.
a cheers,
Yeah.
a prost, and say happy birthday. But I'm like, I'm not drunk enough for that.
And
yet.
we
But-
had this. I remember having this conversation because it was before we got drunk, and we were saying, "Look, no matter what happens, like we want to do that.
Right.
Oh, I'm
wanna
seeing
come
these
back.
old guys
I
here
would
drinking
love
beer. I'm
to
like,
do it.
this is what I want to be when I'm 60,
When I
70,
grow up.
80 years old. Like, I want to be this guy with all of his other old guy buddies, like at Oktoberfest drinking beer. Like, this is like, I mean, not literally life goals, but like, this is what I want to be when I'm that old.
You want to
Like,
be able.
I want to, yeah, I really want
to
to be
go
able
there.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, even if you have a beer or two and you don't get like schmammered, like it's, yes. You know, it's there. It's the social aspect of everything. I mean, we met other Americans, we met other Brits, we met Germans that were there from elsewhere in Germany. That, you know, people. Because we were asking ourselves that, you know, is this a big German thing? Like, do
Right.
people from
Or is it
other
just-
areas, or is it just a
yeah.
Munich thing? And no, it's people from like Berlin and other places in Germany, like
we met
remote
plenty
areas.
of German-speaking people that this was their first time at Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
like,
they
it's
just
not,
came down on a train or, you know, bus or whatever. And
It's like Mardi
were
Gras here.
enjoying.
Exactly.
In
Like,
New Orleans.
If I
Yeah.
went to Mardi Gras, which I do still want to do,
So do I.
I would feel probably as out of place as these Germans did, these non-Munich Germans did at Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're from Germany doesn't mean you know. I mean, you know Oktoberfest, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not like everybody in Germany has been to Oktoberfest.
Right.
Like, it's still kind of a big deal to go. And I don't know. I literally cannot recommend it enough. If you're on the fence, if you have a chance to go to Oktoberfest, if you see cheap tickets, do it. You won't regret it. It is so much fun. We have to go back. I don't know
We
when
have
it'll
to go
be.
back. Was that Back Future
It
1 or
was-
2? It was 1.
Yeah.
Marty, we have to go back.
I mean, the fact that it's free to get into the festival,
Yeah.
you know, it's not even, you know, there's travel and lodging and, you know, eating and like the euros and stuff, you know, the money that it takes to just live there, right, for a week. But it's free to get in the festival. You know, you can't bring large backpacks or anything for security reasons,
good.
obviously. So, you know, they were really tight on security, which made us feel all the more safer. You know, it was like going into a concert or
Right.
something. You know, you didn't have to go through metal detectors or anything, but it was
checked
they
bags and
checked
stuff.
bags. They if they like had anything. I mean, I think I saw like people wanding people down. I think
Yeah.
even so, they were very, very secure. You felt very safe inside there, and you're just pretty much left to your own devices.
But yeah, it was unbelievable. Totally recommend.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys got to go.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're getting married, or by the time you're watching this, you're already married.
Yeah.
I don't know. Time is a flat circle, right, Sean?
It is a flat circle.
What is that from? We couldn't figure it out yesterday, or
Time is
last
a
week, or
flat
yesterday,
circle.
or something.
Is that from
Say
Carl
Interstellar.
Sagan?
No.
I don't even remember what you said.
I said Interstellar.
You did say Interstellar. It's from something like that. I just don't know.
Anyways, I'm glad
I
you
don't
guys
even
went to
know-
go
I don't even know.
because, I mean, like I'm saying, timing aside and everything, you're probably going to have some other life-changing events coming in the next year or two, whatever, who knows. So it's good.
True Detective.
That's,
No.
that's
Thank
True Detective
you,
if you couldn't
in-studio
hear.
audience.
Really?
Yes.
Well, okay.
True
I don't feel so
Detective.
smart now.
The first season or the second season?
I don't know what's going
But yeah, that's like.
Anyways,
Yes, I'm not. I want to go back, but I'm like, I need at least a year removed from it. Like,
No, you
not
need
go
to-
back
you
next
need
year. I
time
need
to
to take
miss
next
it.
year off. But by 2 years from now, we'll probably have kids, and then once that happens, we're not going anywhere for a while. So like,
Correct.
I definitely want to go back, and I don't want to wait till my 80th birthday to go back.
No,
but
it won't be
I
that
want
long.
to go back, but I know it's not going to be for a while. But I will go back. Like, this has to happen.
Right.
Assuming Oktoberfest is still a thing, which I'm sure it will be. It's
it's been
survived
a thing for
however many years,
hundreds-
hundreds, decades at least,
Yeah.
if not hundreds of years. Like,
Hopefully next
it'll
time.
still be there. I have to go back. It was
And-
so much fun.
And next time you go, add an international plan.
An international
Well,
plan, and hopefully next time it
Hopefully
won't be
that's not even a
By
thing.
then it
sneaking
won't even
through
be.
people's
Yeah.
backyards.
International
You'll have nano machines
roaming
to
will
talk
be
to
if
each
you go
other.
to Mars.
Someone
But-
probably has like backyard camera footage of this like random American girl just like sneaking
mean,
through
probably.
their yard and trying to hide.
I can't. I hope Dad watches this.
Oh,
2?
He doesn't watch anything.
You had 4?
Your mom's gonna
There's
watch this and
four
she's
too
gonna
many.
be like freaking out, like, "Oh my God, you got lost in Germany."
I didn't tell them the story for a reason.
I didn't tell
but-
anybody else the story either. So
Just 470
Welcome, internet.
of you.
All's well that ends well, right?
Yeah, you're here. You're healthy. Everything's fine. So,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah.
I'm so embarrassed.
Anything else? Does that cover it?
That pretty much covers it.
I mean, Salzburg was good. We talked about Neuschwanstein Castle. I mean, that was awesome.
yeah.
The architecture. In
Yeah, this was not just an Oktoberfest trip. Like,
no,
I
that
love
was 2 days out of 5.
all of Germany and Austria, like all the culture, just everything
We
was
averaged,
awesome.
like-
Oktoberfest was like the highlight, and it was
Yeah.
the main reason we went. But just in general, it is just such a cool
It's beautiful.
area. Just the whole atmosphere and the culture, the mindset of people is just so different from here. Like,
Yeah.
there is a lot that we could learn from, and I'm not just saying it's Germany. I'm not saying it's just Munich. It's probably Europe in general for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a lot the U.S. could learn. Just they do a lot of stuff better over there. But no, I absolutely loved it. Everything
awesome.
about it.
It was awesome. And we had fantastic weather the entire time. We
Yeah.
lucked out in Europe, which you hear, is cold and rainy and cloudy, everything,
Yeah.
most of the time. But
No, everything
it was sunny. It was gorgeous.
absolutely perfect.
Couldn't have gotten a better pre-wedding trip.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oktoberfest, ladies and gentlemen. Schlitterbahn, Lederhosen,
Doppelganger,
Doppelganger,
Pumpernickel.
Beerfest. I cannot believe you didn't watch it right before you went. I told you
We
you were
I
talked
supposed
about
to
tried.
do
it.
It's
that.
not on Netflix.
We
I
talked
tried.
about it.
I also want to watch
I think I
Euro
got
Trip.
it.
Have you
Talked
seen
about
Euro
Euro
Trip?
Trip
Oh, I have
also.
it too, but
No, I've
we were
got
trying to
Road
watch
Trip.
it remotely. And
Yeah.
I was hoping it was on Netflix.
I've got
We didn't-
Road.
we
I've watched Road Trip. I don't think I ever saw Euro Trip.
Euro Trip. We did not
It's
see any
stupid,
nude
but it's-
beaches.
Well, of course it's stupid.
we
yeah.
did see surfers in the middle of
Yeah,
Munich.
that was the scariest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was
There were
unreal.
surfers.
Yeah.
So in the English Garden, in the middle of Munich, which the English Garden is the biggest, the
It's
largest
the biggest inner city
park in the world, right? And there's a fairly big, I mean, it's not giant, but it's a fairly big river that runs through the middle of this park. And I mean, I wouldn't exaggerate to raging right? But it was
There's
moving.
white
it was
caps. I
it
mean,
was
it's
moving really
rapids.
fast.
Yeah.
And there's a small section in this river in the middle of this park, in the middle of Munich, in the middle of Germany, right, far from any ocean. There were surfers in wetsuits. What, maybe 10 of them?
They're
Yeah,
insane.
probably,
They're
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I just,
It was crazy.
I would die.
And you felt the water, and it was.
Oh, it was freezing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Germany.
All right. Well, this has
Yeah.
been the Two Player Co-op Friday show. Thank you guys for sharing your embarrassingly incriminating stories, or at least one of yours.
I need to finish my drink for that.
I had a great time.
Glad y'all went. Glad y'all got to go. Like I said, this has been the Two Player Co-op Friday show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Obviously, you're watching this on YouTube, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video with your friends. Check out everything that we do at youtube.com/2playercoop. And of course, you can nerd out about anything, including Oktoberfest. So it's awesome that we're part of the Nerd 901 family. So you should go to nerd901.com for all things nerdy in Memphis and around the globe. Do you like audio, Sean?
I love audio. Kevin.
Awesome, because you can listen to us in audio, not this, but the regular podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and audio services all around the world. And, of course, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at KevinWhite24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op, at Britt L.
I don't remember my handle.
Okay.
She's on
Twitter,
On Twitter.
just like Jason. She tweets,
Follow
but
Sean,
she
you'll
doesn't
find
tweet.
me.
Yeah, Two Player. We got a Facebook page. We never update. You know the deal by now. This is the Friday show. Thank you guys so much for being here. And until the next time, Sean, take us out.
Thank you for playing.
That was the closest.
That was not bad.
Because that was like, it was
It
like,
was like here and it was
you missed it by
there.
a few inches. That was pretty good. Because you went straight up.
That's
You
what she
didn't do.
said.
I thought that was
this.
going to hit me in the head. I thought I threw that
Well, you almost
backwards.
impaled your eye last night. I mean,
Yeah, it's
last
like-
week or earlier this week. I don't
Or
know.
a couple of weeks ago. Not years.
Times-
I don't think it'll be posted that late, but
Times a flat circle.
Oh, God.
Bye, guys.
Prost.